Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. We're at the start of a new season. This is Ready to Love Potomac. Let's see how this goes. But before we start, housekeeping rules. Please don't forget to thumbs up. Hit the like button. As soon as you come in, hit the like button. Like I always keep saying, I'll keep saying, the algorithm loves the likes. Once again, drop a word, a comment, a phrase, a monologue. I don't mind. We read it, the fam reads it, and we interact. I love to hear what people are thinking. And last of all, if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. I'm not going to talk about shacking up today, but yeah, don't forget to subscribe. So what are we doing today? This is like the first episode where we really don't know anyone. We don't know what's going on. So instead of trying to figure out who she's talking about, we're just going to do like pictures. So we're going to try this format until we get to know everyone. We'll do like the picture thing. So what am I going to do first? Let me pull up the first person I want to pick up. All right. So who do we have here? There's our good, what should we call him? Paul, software analyst, Paul, aka PO, which could be parole officer, which he says it isn't, or post office because he says he delivers. What do we think about this young man? He's 48, so I'm hoping he's coming with some wisdom and experience into this dating field, this dating exercise, this dating experience. We don't know what's going on. Anyway, so he says he's ready to love. We're about to find out. So this first episode is always going to be like very superficial because we can only go on what we see. He looks tall, looks well kept. We're still trying to figure out his intellect and just separate that from his jokes because he seems to be a jokey kind of guy. But let's see how that goes. So for now, Paul, let's see how you go. Like, you're not rubbing everyone the right way, but so far, we'll just kind of leave him just right there in the middle. Next person is Dakia. She was the young lady who came in. I think she was the first lady. She was in a yellow dress. Now, I keep saying, you're going to agree with me that color against melanin skin is beautiful. So she was in the peacock yellow dress, came in, figure form. Zakia, 39. She's an engineer. She's, like I said, this episode, we're going to be superficial. What do we think of her? She seems to be getting on with the guys pretty well. She also occurred to me at that time. I feel like she had the comment where she said we are vaxxed and waxed. Like, I don't know who came up with this first because we know we heard Tasia saying this, and I want to say they recorded the reunion in November, but it didn't go live so we don't know. And this has been recorded before the live. So I don't know. This must be like a popular phrase in DC. I don't know. But she says she's vaxxed and she waxed. She's ready to mix and mingle. Something else she said, which I don't necessarily always agree with, is this. I don't like to put it out there. I'm not saying it's true, and I'm not saying it's not true. But I don't always want to lead with, women outnumber men 10-1. Yo, my G, what's for you? It's for you. And what's not? It's not. It's really that simple. So I don't like to throw those numbers out there. So we're going to keep it moving. For now, that's Dakia. Our next person, Wiley, 32, young man. He has the history. He was the jock. He used to play, I think, college football. And he's coming with this, violin, let's have some wine with that, that wine and talk about, people, he might be prejudged because he might come off as a typical jock. I don't know about that. But what do we think about him? Okay, so far I have nothing else to say. He's got himself together. What I do like, and I think most of the men did that, was showing up in a suit. Like, we don't get, it's like just the suit. So he showed up in a suit and it worked for him. So no complaints right now. Our guy, Fernando. Okay, so we've got the job description there, and I'll tell you, but how did Fernando come up to us? He said something really cute about, chivalry is not dead. Blah, 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 blah. He's the young man who says his girlfriend cheated on him. Like, I didn't really listen to the details. I just heard cheated on him. I heard swingers. So maybe she brought someone to the house. I don't know what the story was. And then she went for a swingers, I don't know, somewhere, some kind of, was it a cruise, or they went to a swingers beach, but she went to the swingers thing without him. So he comes across as a nice guy who I guess people have taken advantage of. That's what it sounds like. But he sounds like a nice guy. His dad's from Panama. So yeah, he cooks. He seems like a nice guy, and it appears that not to say that people who've gone through are not nice guys, but this format doesn't necessarily work for nice guys. Like I said, something, stuff is not for everyone. Some things are not just for everyone. And just listening to him right now, this platform may not be the platform for him. But yeah, let's keep it going. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next single we're gonna mingle with. All right, our good sis Keena. Now, Keena, I don't, she comes off very clear. She knows what she wants. She knows who she is. I mean, she's outspoken. No problem with that. I was not particularly crazy about her outfit choice. Now we know with this first episode, let's be honest, it's like going through an app. You can only go based, you start with appearance. You swipe based on, the picture and whatever they had to make up to say down there and whatever the questions they answered. So we have to agree that it's superficial. So if you're coming off superficial, you really have to come off with your best foot. Now, here in this confessional picture, she looks nice. She's got the girls upright. She's got a nice black dress, but for the we want to call it, let's call it a mix and mingle, let's call it the meter, like the whatever they did there when they met up at the mansion. I felt her dress was ill-fitting. The girls weren't well propped up. Yeah, first impression, you have one chance to make a first impression. I don't feel she made a first impression appearance-wise. Otherwise, I didn't have anything to say about Keena. She seemed polite. Our next person, Precious. So she was the young lady in the red dress with the slits that was I think it was up to the thigh, like thigh-high slits. Walked around. I mean, she was interesting. Yeah, she was definitely she seems like she even said it herself. She said she has a big personality, so we can see that she will have no problem with this format. She's one, I think she said she wanted the Gina and Martin kind of love. I don't know about that Gina and Martin kind of thing, because I mean it seemed cute, but they just had a lot of, I mean, I guess it was just to be funny, but I'm looking for the Martin and Gina kind of love where I have to spell stuff out, because it just seemed like Gina had to spell a lot of stuff out for Martin. Like we're going off to the center, but we're gonna come back right at the middle again. So yeah, so she's looking for the Martin and Gina kind of love. Okay, sis. But yeah, I mean, she looked like, and she also, I think she understood what needed to be done. Red is a very, it's a color that stands out, and she was the only one wearing red. One, two, she had that, that stuff with the eyeshadow, the sparkly eyeshadow that some of the ladies tend to use, which is the statement piece that stands out. So she stood out. So both with her dress, her makeup, and she also was pretty tall. She stood up. All right. Our next guy, Demetrius. So he's the gentleman who has the history, was in the military. I want to say he was in the military. I think he said for 21 years. Now he's a contractor. He comes off, so with men, they don't necessarily have to be conventionally handsome, but he knows how to put that package together. He came in, who I want to steal whoever said it. I want to say it was Joy's term where she called it the eggplant colored, suit, like and it was weather appropriate because we know it's summertime. So it's probably hot there right now because they seemed a little, dewy. I don't want to use the term moist, but so it was in the eggplant suit, where you part of the beard gang, you win. Because they did show some of his earlier pictures in his military. Of course, I think military, you're not allowed to have facial hair. So he was clean shaven. So it definitely looks nice with the facial hair. And so I think not necessarily his appearance, all the ladies seem to be like, ooh, Demetrius, da da da. But I think what came across when he's in his confessionals was the fact that he spoke like he had some sense. Demetrius is 42. So he's seen some things, he's experienced some things. And more importantly, he has also seen things that we probably are not privy to. He was in the military. I don't know if he actually, did have any kind of, if he went out to like Afghanistan. I don't remember if he said that, but definitely he's seen some things that we haven't seen. So here's hoping that he's had the time and the resources and tools to heal from what he's seen. Because I think going into war is not a natural thing for us as humans. And so we see things and sometimes it's hard to heal from that. So Demetrius, I'm wishing you the best. Hopefully you've had time to heal from everything you've been through. All right, our lady, Sabrina. Sabrina was about three ladies who tried to go for the green, but at least they ensured that they were all in different shades. Sabrina was in like the lime green, or should I call it? Yeah, lime green, shift of a dress. It wasn't figure forming, but it was a shift. It was still short. And I think what struck us about Sabrina? Sabrina talked about this, her list. Her list was consistency, consideration, and what is there? Something about this. I want to say that without saying it. Like she said, hot AF. Okay, all right, Sabrina. I want you to leave with that, but my concern is the list, and you need to be hot. I mean, 36 is still kind of young, but at this point, I want you to understand that hot AF is probably shouldn't be what you should be leading with. There should be a physical attraction, no doubt, but hot, like you want him to have some common sense. But we're meeting you for the first time. And we know, I think what we do know based on the conversation, you've been married before, no longer married. So, you've experienced some things. Hopefully you're coming here with some growth and you've been able to do the work, as we all say. All right, going on to the next single, Laverne. Mr. Laverne. All right, so I want to say for the males, he's probably, he come in terms of physicality, definitely looks very attractive, definitely decent face. He's part of the beard gang. You can't go wrong with the beard gang. I think he said he's an analyst, but he did bodybuilding or does bodybuilding on side, so he's well cut, well built. And he says he's looking for that special someone. All right, so let's see how this goes. But already I can see and I can tell he's one of the favorites. Like I said, this episode is kind of superficial because all we can go by is how they look and whatever little crummy monologue they've come up with. I don't know, but let's see how this goes. Our next person, Clifton. All right, Clifton, Mr. Clifton, 44. He's a little older. He's in his 40s, 44. I think he was the only gentleman. He was in like a peach t-shirt with some checkered pants, but he didn't have a coat or anything. I don't know if that was good or bad, but definitely he understood the weather. He knew it was hot, so he wasn't about to punish himself with a jacket. So he didn't have a jacket on, but he, I believe, is the one who had the deep, baritone voice, So definitely he had the ladies' interest. He also seems like a nice guy. You know what? When I saw him, watching him, I just get the sense of like a teddy bear, like a big teddy bear. I don't know. This is just based on first impressions. He seems both like a likable fellow on the inside and on the outside. There's something likable about him. He might be one of our favorites. So Clifton, yeah, let's see how this goes. But he seems to have like he has a personality, but he also knows when to just kind of pause for a second and chill. So clearly you can see he's coming up to be, he might be, I'm having favorites yet, okay? He might be one of my favorites. Let's see how this, I'm going to say, let's see how this goes. All right, so our next person, Joy. All right, Joy is 41. I believe Joy does not have any kids. And I think what stood out when I talk about Joy is the fact that Joy was in the emerald green dress. Now, guys, let's look back at past seasons. Like whoever came in emerald green gets some kind of attention, and we've also heard and we've been told by previous cast members that producers approve what they pick, and sometimes say no, maybe somebody else has got that color, but they kind of get the producers get the final say as to who's wearing what. So she was approved. That very popular emerald green that makes us look amazing. And she understood the assignment. We're about to retire that phrase, but for now we're going to say she understood the assignment because not only was it beautiful emerald green, but it fit right. So I don't know if she's one of the producers' favorites, but I'm just going to say in the past, people who've had the emerald green have, stood out. The last season, I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but she stood out, maybe not in a positive way, but she stood out. And the season before that, like my sis stood out. It didn't end great for her then, but she stood out. And I think at this point, it's like if you're not finding that one, standing out works because you want to spin off. Whatever it is that you want to spin off after the show, you want to spin off. Is it your work? Is it a product? Is it a love? Something you want to spin off. But I've just noticed that, the emerald green has, brought attention to some of the sisters in the past. So I am looking at like Joy could be, and she seems to have a bit of a personality. She's the one who's talking about when she was sitting with Uncle Fernando, talk about he was dressed in a suit. So he was either ready to come and interview or he was here to party and mingle. And she thought he was hear more for an interview. So she's a little funny. So she might be one to watch. She seems interesting. She's a singer. I think we all like singers. And she also, I think, as a singer, she won't be unfamiliar with trying to mix and mingle if she's like kind of doing all these things that you have to do as a singer. So let's go into the next one. All right. Ace. So, okay, what do I have to say about Ace? Ace is 37. She has a penchant or a desire or a love for yoga, which seems to be coming out when she talks with everyone. I think that's all everyone could get. But I think what stood out to me is, okay, they're saying she's a philanthropist. All right, I know what philanthropist means, so please don't drop in a comment to say, Lola, this is what, no, I'm just saying as a job description, really a philanthropist, are you saying that you work for a company, or are you saying that you are a woman of means, your family has money, so the work you do is just, charity work? Like, I guess we'll get to tease that out later, but I'm really curious, particularly since, and not to say that, being a philanthropist means you don't have, real work to do, but the fact that her focus, and I am a yogi myself, I do believe in yoga. Yoga has kind of bailed me out during certain times when I really felt like pressure was coming on. But I'm just curious. At this point, I just want to know that, okay, what's the real deal? What's going on with Ace? I believe Ace also was in a prior relationship or marriage that didn't work out. But I'm curious to see more. I want us to peel the layers. I definitely want her to hang around. I'm curious about her because philanthropist. Okay, philanthropist usually is the B side to. There's usually A track has something else, but we don't have the A track. We just have the B side. So let's go. All right, our next single is Mr. Tory. Mr. Tory, 39-year-old male. Yeah, I believe he has a history of being a realtor. He, how did he, I don't feel he's come across so much, but that's left to be seen. He is, mixing and mingling. He does have a bit of a story. We'll go into that when I show you pictures of some of the connections, whether they're bad or good, the of note. So I'm going to discuss some of note connections that we need to kind of get with. But Tory, he's got locks. He's a realtor. He was in a suit. And that's all I have for you right now, honestly. And then we'll kind of we'll go on further. All right, Tiffany. Tiffany during the mixer was in like a black or navy blue dress. I can't really tell. I don't have that much to say about Tiffany. Really, I think the only thing that came across is she was, she called herself a Southern Belle and that she can cook, and that's left to be seen. Like, yeah, that's left to be seen. Let's see how it goes. I'm curious. I would love to know more. I feel like I don't know enough yet to give a solid description, but she's kind of in the middle of the pack right now. All right, so we're going into the couples. So, well, let's not call them couples. Let's call them the connections. They're both negative and positive. First connection here we're looking at, that's Fernando's bag. Like, okay, Fernando don't look like he was sweating there, but like all I could see anytime they showed him, like when he was talking, mixing and mingling, was patting his head. I suppose it was really hot for him, and maybe he's not comfortable in the suit. The lady, of course, we know is Joy, who was a singer who's 41. Now, Joy, when they had their little meetup, yeah, that's when she said, like, this dude, look, he's acting like an interview. Like, he's looking for somebody to fit a job description and not like, as a partner. Yeah, things didn't work great for him, they did. Her impression coming out of that was no, and I think a lot of women had that impression. And like I said, he's probably a great guy, but he doesn't come out well on this format. We've lost lots of great guys in the past. I want to say, I think his name was Christensen. That was a season ago where I think he was a postman, if I remember correctly. He didn't last the night. So there's another nice guy from Panama who say he'll cook for you, but I don't think the ladies are feeling him right now. Go on to another couple, Wiley and Keena. Keena's the lady, Wiley's the gentleman who was the football jock. So they're talking. And, her impression, so she's very polite to him. She's like, okay, she's trying to exit stage left, like she's trying to exit stage left quick as soon as she found out he was 32, because I believe Keena is 39. I'm not looking at my numbers right now. I do believe Keena is 39. And she hears that and she's not trying to rub a cradle. And so she was done. But the way she did exit, she wasn't rude. But of course, I've always said that our actions speak louder than our words. And so he sensed that they didn't have a connection. He said she was attractive, she was interesting, but he didn't think they had a click. And he felt, I think he said he thought she might be a little too blunt for him. She was pretty polite. She didn't say a word because what she said to him and what she said in her confessional, two different things. But of course, body language says everything. So he definitely felt that, okay, something was going on. She's not feeling me. It is what it is. You just say, yeah, these first episodes are kind of tough. Next couple of notes, Demetrius and Sabrina. So right at this point, Sabrina comes off. She can be a little goofy. She was cracking some jokes about bling bling. I think he had a chain. Like she was laughing. And it's when they finally sit down, it does show that they were. And I think sometimes when you can find something you have in common in these speed dating things, that's something you can latch on. And then all of a sudden you're interested, because I think most of us have short attention spans nowadays in 2022. So something has to happen for you to pay more attention. And I think once they both sat down and talked, discussed how they've been in prior marriages, Demetrius says he'd been, married before, confessed to cheating, but now, has seen, the error of his ways and really wants to start afresh and wants to start the right way. Sabrina's story is similar, not that she cheated, but she was in a relationship. She felt she was too young for it. And so, but she now knows what she wants. She knows better. So sometimes coming out of those relationships, if you've done the work and you learned what you did wrong, as opposed to recognizing what the other person did wrong, then you can definitely come into it with a clearer mind and without so much baggage. Truth is, we'll come with baggage, but hopefully with her and with him, they can, so right now, they seem to be having a good connection, if I remember correctly. Sabrina was one of Demetrius' top contestants. Let me rephrase that before any of you put your minds in the gutter. All right, so this pairing, was not very successful. This is, Mr. Paul, P.O. He called himself post office because he delivers. Okay, it's at this point, it's like it's early days yet. Corny joke, I guess. It doesn't really land for everyone. Ace wasn't feeling it. I think during their discussion as well, I think she had been in a marriage or a prior relationship. And when he questioned it, and it's a little early, I think, in my opinion, it's a little early to question someone about their relationship so much, particularly if we don't know the person. So it almost came off like he was judging her, and she didn't appreciate that. So they really, I think once he said a couple of things about, do you intimidate me? But like she had her fence up and she was not feeling him at all. I guess with that, he wasn't feeling her. So we already know this pairing, right now they're not feeling each other. I don't know if they'll have a redo if they get to know each other, but right now Ace and Paul, Ace is the lady, and now hers is more like what kind of green is that? It's a darker green, an olive green, but she didn't get the emerald, she got the olive green. So for now, it doesn't look like they're going to have much going on with each other. All right, so this next pairing, it was a positive pairing. Precious is the young lady in the red thigh-high dress, the slit that's thigh-high. And of course, the gentleman in the waistcoat is Mr. Tory, the realtor. And so they sit down and they have something strong in common. So Tory leads with the fact that he has a difficult relationship with his mother. Apparently, his mother wasn't very demonstrative, didn't really say she loved him. And so with that, even now, he's one who, I think in his words, feels uncomfortable when someone expresses love to him. And then with Precious, her story is similar in that I think she was raised by an aunt or grandmother, and she says that I think she doesn't really talk to her mother right now, but what she did say is that she realizes that not being close to her mother can definitely affect some things. And she, but it's always easier to see something in the other person. She said she realizes that the very thing that, Tory didn't get from his mother is the thing that he runs away from in relationships. And the same could be, we'll see if the same could be said for her, because she's able to break down and understand that she's not very close to her mother. But the fact that they have that in common is, sometimes if they've done the work, I don't know if they've done the work, sometimes can really, allow them to be insightful. But if they haven't done the work, it could definitely they could shoot themselves in the foot. But let's see how this goes. So they had a moment where they definitely clicked. And right there, there's an understanding. I don't know if they'll continue to like each other. Let's see how that goes. All right, so the next pairing, this is Mr. Clifton and Joy. This was another positive grouping where they had a good understanding of each other. They had a chemistry. You know, they both liked each other. They sat down, they talked, you know, they were flirting a little bit. Of course, you know, Joy did confess that she enjoyed flirting with him. And so this is another couple to, I think, to watch positively, because they definitely seem to like each other. And he said it too. I think he said in confessional how, yeah, like he has his eye on her. She's one of his, you know, one of the people he's narrowed down to somebody he'll be interested in. So let's see how that goes. All right. So the next thing that happens, you know, I kind of want to give us a little clip, you know, in the middle, like they've talked. Nephew Tommy shows up to crack his little jokes and tell them they are how he's the quality inspector. He's gonna see, but then he tells them about the first curveball.
With some turns along the way. I think y'all know that already. Okay. Now, I want to see y'all go in deep. Get to know everybody why you got a chance. Because tonight, 2 of you going home.
Tommy.
So what do we know? Just if you haven't noticed, to recap what we just looked at, we've got 7 males and 7 females. So we have a total of 14 as opposed to the 10-10 that we usually have. So this is the first curveball. He's saying at the end of this mixer, 2 people are going home. 1 woman and 1 man are going to be sent home. Let's see how this goes. I guess this is a way to try and preempt some of the things that may have happened last season. I don't know, but we'll see how this works. So they go with that. And so to talk about the first elimination that occurred, it was our dear friend. I wish I had a drum roll machine, but our dear friend Fernando was sent home. Like I said, this medium is not for everyone. He does seem like a nice guy. And, you know, he just didn't come across. And it is kind of hard, first meeting, to get it. Fernando's gone. Farewell, sir. All right, so let's kind of go into some other things going on here. Another meeting. Well, there were a couple meetings here. We're going to call this Laverne's Corner. So Uncle Laverne, I guess already he seems to be, you know, popular with the ladies. He's popular with the ladies. So first of all, sitting here with our good sister Sabrina, they're having a great conversation. And then I don't know how many minutes into the conversation, but remember, we have learned in the past that sometimes producers prompt the ladies to interrupt conversations. So I'm no longer thrown away like, oh, that's rude, because we've heard that they've been prompted to interrupt. So here, Laverne's talking to Sabrina, then all of a sudden Keena shows up. She's talking about, can I talk to him too? Then Keena sit down after a little while, and then Pressure shows up. She's like, can I talk to him too? So he doesn't even get a chance to get up and mix and mingle, because by this point they've already done the first elimination with a man who they sent Fernando home, and now we're sending a woman home. So the women are feeling the heat. So they're getting a little bit aggressive. Are they getting aggressive? Producers are prompting or pushing them to be aggressive. Let's see how that goes. But anyway, so what I do remember though is that at this point, yes, Sabrina and, you know, Laverne seemed to hit it off right. So that was the last pairing. Now we had the finale little thing where they decide to, at the final point where they're now going to cut the woman, they decide to cut. And this is something they didn't do with the men. Did they do that with the men? I want to say maybe they had Paul and actually I think they had Paul and Fernando in the bottom 2, but he didn't announce it. When they were speaking with ladies, Paul and Fernando were in the bottom 2, but he only announced Fernando. But with the women, he did announce that they had 2 people in the bottom. It was Tiffany, who was in the black dress, who in my pictures was in pink, as well as Keena. Is it, you know, coincidence that the 2 ladies who were in the bottom were in black or dark colors? Is that a coincidence? I don't know, but like I said, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, make sure I wear more colors. So anyway, so Tiffany, Keena, bottom. Keena gets sent home, and like I said, it's a superficial episode. Why do I think Keena was sent home? Really, just based on appearances only. Her dress was dark. I don't think it was cut right. Didn't fit her body shape. You know, and I feel even like in her confessional, her hair and her makeup looked much better in the confessional. Keeping in mind it was hot, but anyway, I think she was just sent home based on, you know, she just didn't come with her A game in terms of appearance. That's it. Like, there's nothing else to say about her. I don't think she was rude. I don't think she didn't mingle. She did mingle. She did. She spoke with people. So I think that's why she was sent home. So just to kind of recap, looking at everyone, I feel that who do we have there? Right on the left, we have Laverne. So let's kind of like break down who our people are. Laverne, definitely for one of the guys, he is, for now, he lay like one of my favorites. Mr. P.O. post office at Liverpool. Like he's in the middle. I don't know, like if he's going to remain corny or if he's actually going to come out. You're going to see more of him, the person, because I think he's 48. So there should be something behind the jokes. Maybe he's nervous. Maybe I don't know. Let's see. So Paul's like in the middle. Tori, he in the middle. I have nothing to say about him. You know, Fernando looked like the happiest person to be there, but he's gone. Wiley, yeah, he's I'm not going to say he's my son's age, but he's a little young. But let's see. I don't know much about him. Clifton, of course, is another one of the people I'm liking. He's funny, but there's also some substance. We saw a little bit of it now, so like him. So, and of course, Demetrius, he's right behind Precious in the red dress. He's in like the what do we call that color again? The eggplant colored suit. And like I said, what comes out? He's another person I find interesting. So if I was to pick top two guys for me, for now, would be Clifton, and this is both appearance and if I think they have substance, would be Clifton and Demetrius with, he's with a kind of a tie with Laverne. Now with the women, Keena's gone home. I don't know much about her. Tiffany she's meant to try and come across as the Southern Belle. Not so sure. Precious, she looked like she's going to be one of the outspoken ladies. She picked the right color. She's in that red dress with, with the thigh high slit. That yellow. I may not necessarily wear yellow all the time, but that peacock yellow stood out. So my good sis, Dakia, I think she might be one of the ladies I'm feeling. Notice there were three ladies in green. We have Ace, who's in like the I want to call it almost, should we call it like an olive green, maybe like a deep dark green. Ace, I'm not sure about her. I'm curious about her. She's one who's the philanthropist, but she's not my top. Joy is going to be one of the ladies to look out for. She's in the emerald green. They look at that. It's a figure hugging number. She got it right. And then of course, I think that's it. Did we talk about Sabrina, who was in like the lime green? So for me, the ladies now would be Joy, Dakia, and it's between Sabrina and Precious. So yeah, the first episode is really superficial. We don't know what's going on, but here we are, guys. We got it. Let's see how it goes. We'll probably be able to get really into the meat of the matter. Probably maybe the third. I'd say by the third episode when they start the ball, they might, they're throwing these curveballs. So there's going to be another curveball with the next episode. So let's see. But guys, I just want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And for now, I would say thank you for watching. Lola, over and out.